morning, dear children. How are you all? I hope you all are perfectly fine and spending very good time at your home with your families and your studies as well. So here is your science teacher this side, and I'm going to discuss about your chapter 1 of your science textbook, that is your nutrition in plants. I hope all of you have downloaded your ebook of your science textbook that I have sent you just few days back. So now let me discuss your chapter number 1, nutrition plants, with the help of your this given mind map. Um, in this chapter, nutrition plants, what we are going to study is that how plants prepare their food, how plants get their food from other sources, and at the end of the chapter, you will be able to identify different modes of nutrition, or you can say different ways of nutrition, and other ways of nutrition for non-green plants. All right. So, as you all have studied that food is so much important for all the living organism existing on this earth. So organisms, they need food to obtain energy in order to stay alive and perform their life functions. So you already have learned about the components of food as well in your class 6, that is your carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals. So these nutrients, they enable an organism to grow, to repair damaged body parts and provide energy. All right. So first question arises that what is nutrition? Now nutrition is the process of taking in food by an organism and its utilization by the body is called as your nutrition. All right. So on the basis of the way an organism obtain food, there are different modes of nutrition. As it is already given in your mind map, I have drawn it. They are your autotrophic mode of nutrition, heterotrophic mode of nutrition and special mode of nutrition. So now we are going to discuss all these three mode of nutrition one by one. So first, here comes your autotrophic mode of nutrition. So autotrophic mode of nutrition is such a way of nutrition in which an organism prepares its own food with the help of carbon dioxide, water, soil and mineral salts in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. And this type of nutrition, this way of nutrition is mostly carried out by the green plants. All right. So under this topic, we are going to further discuss about the process of photosynthesis in detail. All right. So right from your class 3rd, you people are studying this subtopic photosynthesis, and you all are aware of the subtopic photosynthesis. So for the first time, the term photosynthesis was proposed by Charles Reed Barnes in 1893 to describe the process by which plants use light to produce carbohydrates, or you can say glucose. All right. So the definition, how will you define photosynthesis? It is the process by which green plants make their own food in the form of glucose from carbon dioxide and water with the help of solar energy in the presence of chlorophyll pigment. So during this process, the product which are formed are your glucose, water and oxygen gas. All right. So the chemical reaction of the photosynthesis is also given in your important points that I have just sent you few days back along with this mind map. So here you can see the chemical reaction of photosynthesis process, like 6 times carbon dioxide when it combines with the 6 times water molecule in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, it produces food in the form of glucose along with the oxygen gas. Okay. So here I have given this reaction in the form of chemical formulas. So you have to just practice this chemical reaction, and you should just, it should be on your tips. All right. So the process of photosynthesis require different material, different raw material, so as to make the food, so as plants can make their food. So what are those raw material, what are the requirements of photosynthesis? They are your water and minerals, carbon dioxide, chlorophyll and sunlight. Now let us discuss all these four requirements of photosynthesis one by one. So firstly comes your water and minerals. So you can refer your textbook as well for further reading or further discussion. So water and minerals, as you know, water is so much important for the growth of living organism. So plants, they absorb water from the soil through their root system. So these water and minerals, they are absorbed by the root hair present near the end of the roots, and they reach it reach the base of the stem through the root system. So this water absorb water, then transported up to the leaves through the stem with the help of structures called as xylem. And at the same time, the food which is prepared in the leaves of a plant is transported to the different parts of the plant through the structure called as phloem. So these two are the structures present in the plant which helps in the transportation of material. Okay, so the water and minerals, they are transported in the plant, throughout the plant, with the help of xylem, and the prepared food is transported to different parts of the plant, is transported by with the help of your phloem. All right, so this is your water and mineral. Now next comes your carbon dioxide, that how much carbon dioxide is important and how the plants take in carbon dioxide gas. So as you know, the plants living on land, they use carbon dioxide which is present in the atmosphere for the process of photosynthesis. So plant obtain carbon dioxide through pores which are present on the leaves called as stomata. So it is the opening and the closing of these pores uh, which are responsible for the exchange of gases in the plant. Okay, so this opening and closing of the stomata is also regulated by guard cells. Now a question arises that what are guard cells? So you should know that guard cells, they are specialized cell which surrounds each stoma. Okay, so the singular of stomata is your stoma. So these guard cells, they surround each stoma and helps in the opening and closing of the stomata. So you should know, you just remember always that whenever guard cell become turgid, or you can say whenever guard cell become full of water, it causes the stoma to open. Okay, and when the stomata gets open, it allows the carbon dioxide gas to enter the leaf, and at the same time when the when the guard cell become flaccid, or you can say when there's lack of water in the these guard cells, then the 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 stomata of the leaf get closed. All right, so this is all about your carbon dioxide, that how exchange of gas takes place in the leaves. Okay, so next one is your chlorophyll pigment. Chlorophyll is also one of the very important factor which is responsible for this process of photosynthesis. So it is, what is chlorophyll actually? It is the green pigment that enables the plant to trap light energy, and it is a pigment that gives green coloration to the plant leaves. All right, so you can say leaves are, as you know, that leaves are the site for the process of photosynthesis, and it is also called as the kitchen of the cell. So chlorophyll, they are found in the structures called as chloroplast. All right, so there are, you can say, there are two main functions of the chlorophyll molecules of this chlorophyll pigment. First is that it provides green coloration to the leaves, and second, it traps it traps sunlight. Okay, and you should know, for your extra information, that there are some plants which doesn't look there are some plants which doesn't look mm, green, but they are having patches on their leaves. Okay, so it doesn't mean that those plants doesn't conduct photosynthesis process. They do. Actually, what happens, the leaves of these plants, like for example money plant, if you see money plant or croton, they are having patches over their leaves. So what happens, the leaves of these plants, they are patched leaves, but they appear red in color sometimes, sometimes yellow in color. So different coloration is being given to these plant leaves naturally. So this is because the red pigment present in them hides the green color of the chlorophyll. So such leaves can also make food by the process of photosynthesis, because green pigment is also present there, but the red pigment, it dominate the green pigment, and it gives colorful patches on the leaves. Okay, so next one is your sunlight. That sunlight is also very much important for photosynthesis. So light energy trapped by the chlorophyll is used by the plants and convert it into chemical energy to make glucose as a food in the process. Okay, so this is all about your process of photosynthesis. And next one, you have to study about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So this is all about your autotrophic mode of nutrition. And as we have just learned that plant synthesis carbohydrates through the process of photosynthesis, but along with that, plants also synthesize other components like proteins and fats. Okay, so that we'll discuss later on. So next topic is your heterotrophic mode of nutrition. As you can see in this flow chart, in this concept map, that heterotrophic mode of nutrition is subdivided into three modes of nutrition. All right, so firstly you should know what is heterotrophic mode of nutrition. As a definition of this mode of nutrition, I have already given in the important points, so you can refer those important points, those who are not having that their science textbook. All right, so the mode of nutrition in which an organism cannot prepare their own food, okay, and depends on other organism for food, is called heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So there are some plants that lack chlorophyll pigment, and hence cannot synthesize their own food using raw materials, water, minerals, etc. Okay, so these plants depend on food produced by other plants, so they use heterotrophic mode of nutrition. All right, so further, on the basis of mode of living and mode of intake of food, these heterotrophic plants, they are categorized into saprotrophic saprotrophic plants, parasitic plants, and symbiotic plants. Okay, so firstly you should know that what are saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so this is a mode of nutrition, this is a heterotrophic mode of nutrition in which plants derive their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, so now what is we should know that what is organic matter. So organic matter is that matter, those substances which are made from plants and animals. Okay, so heterotrophic mode of nutrition is it is a type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition in which plants derive their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. So some flowering plants such as Indian pipe and coral roots, they have this mode of nutrition. Okay, so as saprotrophic plants, they lack chlorophyll and they do not prepare their own food. So their roots are having fungi that secrete digestive juice on the organic matter. Okay, so these juices then convert that convert organic matter into nutrients which are absorbed by the fungi. Okay, and later on they are used by the plants as a food. Fine. So for the pictures of this Indian pipe coral roots, you can refer your textbook, and I have also sent you the pictures of this heterotrophic mode of nutrition just 2 days back. So you can kindly refer those pictures. You will for that is very good for your visualization. Okay, then next is your parasitic mode of nutrition. Parasitic nutrition is also is also a heterotrophic mode of nutrition in which plants derive food from other plants. So such kind of plants, they derive nutrition requirement from another living plants, and uh, mostly parasitic plants, they develop uh, modified roots that obtain nutrients from the roots and shoot system of the host plant. Okay, so if, example of parasitic plants are your dodder, mistletoe. So you can also visualize the pictures, or you can see the video that we have sent you just few days back. The link of those videos we have sent you just few days back, and you can just log in those you can log in that link and go through those videos. Okay, so in parasitic relationship, the parasitic plants, they all it the parasitic plant always benefits, but the host on which it is residing, or on which it is depending, the host is harmed. Okay, so in this type of relationship, one gets benefit and another gets lost. So parasitic plants, they rarely kill the host plant, as this would not be beneficial to them. Okay, so next mode of nutrition is your heterotrophic mode of nutrition is your symbiosis. Okay, now what is symbiosis, you should know, is one of the very important mode of nutrition. So situation in which two different organisms, they live together in close association of mutual benefits is called as symbiosis. Okay, so certain plants live in symbiotic relationship for their survival. So the plants that are a part of the symbiotic relationships, they are called as symbiotic plants. And the examples I have already given you in this flowchart, they are your lichens, they are your lichens, and the association of leguminous plants with the rhizobium bacteria. So first example is your lichens. So you should know what are lichens. Lichens are the association of algae and fungi to share food and other sources. Okay, so they both, algae and fungi, they live together and mutually share the benefits. Now actually what happens, how do they share their material with each other, how do they get benefit? Actually what happened, the fungi, they obtain uh, carbohydrates from the algae, which are photosynthesis, because algae, they are green in color, they can prepare their own food. So fungi obtains carbohydrate from the algae, which are photosynthetic, and contribute the green color to the lichens. So in turn the fungi helps the um, in turn the fungi help the algae to grow in harsh conditions. Okay, so this is how both of them are mutually uh, getting benefits. So another example I have given you, the example of leguminous plants and rhizobium bacteria. Now how do they get mutual benefits? Uh, Another example of symbiosis can be seen in leguminous plants such as pea. So exactly what happens in this? The root nodules of the pea plant, they contain nitrogen fixing bacteria called as rhizobium, and nitrogen fixing bacteria, these are those bacteria which helps in converting atmospheric nitrogen to the compounds such as ammonia, nitrate, nitrites that are usable by the plants. So basically what happens that as you might have seen that farmers and gardeners using manure and fertilizers to enrich the soil of their field. So this is done mainly to renew the soil, to fertile the soil with the nutrients which have been used by the plants for their growth. So the continuous usage of these kind of nutrients, especially nitrogen, by the plants leads to their leads to the depletion in the soil. So nitrogen is required by the plant for their growth, but plants, plants cannot use the nitrogen available in the atmosphere. So the rhizobium bacteria, they convert atmospheric nitrogen into a soluble form. So it requires a plant, as it cannot independently fix atmospheric nitrogen, so it lives in the roots of gram, peas, beans and other legumes, okay, and provide them nitrogen. All right. But in turn the plants provide food and shelter to the bacteria. So this is a symbiotic relationship where both plant and bacteria benefit. Therefore, this relationship is of environmental importance, as it makes crop production possible in the nitrogen deficient soil without the use of fertilizers. Next mode of nutrition is your special mode of nutrition, and under this mode of nutrition we are going to discuss about your insectivorous plants. So what are insectivorous plants? These are those plants which are dependent on the insect for fulfilling their nitrogen requirement. Okay, so these plants, they have a poorly developed root system, and often they grow in nitrogen deficient condition. So these kind of plants, they obtain the missing nutrients by trapping, by capturing, by digesting, and then absorbing the nutrients from the prey like insects, spiders and mites. And the examples of such kind of plants are Venus flytrap, bladderwort, pitcher plant and sundew also. Okay, so if I'll just take an example of pitcher plant, that actually what happens in pitcher plant and how it traps insects and how it derive nutrients from it. Okay, so the pitcher plant, it has a unique structure. Its leaf is modified as a tube-like structure that act as a trap for the prey, and prey here is your insect. And the inner lining of the pitcher plant, it has hair that do not allow the trapped prey to escape out of it. Once it get trapped inside the pitcher, the tube-like structure of pitcher plant, it doesn't allow the prey to escape out of it. Okay, so the fluid that present inside the plant, it contains digestive juice that further digest the prey and release the important nutrients which are required by the plant to fulfill its lacking requirement. Okay, so this is how pitcher plant get its nutrient by eating insects. Okay, so the pictures of all these types of insectivorous plants, you can see I have just day before yesterday I have just given the pictures of all the types of heterotrophic plants, and you just visualize those pictures so that you will never forget the examples of such kind of heterotrophic plants. Okay, so with this your chapter is finished now, and the material that I have given you of this chapter is one I have given you this flow chart, and I have also given you these important points. And other than this is all about your chapter number 1. I hope you all have understood now. So for further reference, you can watch the uploaded videos online, the link of which we have already shared with you all. It is already shared by your class teacher in the group. So you people are now provided with the study material, which includes this concept map and the important points of the chapter. I have just few days back I have already given you this recap worksheet, and it includes question answers and fill-ups from the from within the chapter. Okay, so just understand the chapter, understand the concept, so that you will be able to do all the recap worksheet which I'm going to send further. Okay, so I hope you are studying regularly, and for any kind of confusion you can call me, you can contact me. Thank you so much.